It's been a minute since we've talked to you, and Disney has dropped a lot of information about the holidays. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about Rogers the Musical is finally about to open, and I cannot wait to see it. All that and more tonight on ParksCenter. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you guys so much, as always, for being with us tonight. If you have not already, please make sure to subscribe to WDWNT TV for more great content, and also give this video a thumbs up as it helps people to find us. And by us, I mean all of these beautiful people. All right, well, let's go to Stephanie.
Hi, everybody. Happy early holidays in June, and not July.
In June and not July. Mr. Patrick Hackett.
You know, I really wish we did this show on Mondays so I could say it's another Munchling Monday, but it is just a ParksCenter Sunday, and we're ready to go.
So we are going to be talking about the holidays. It's halfway to the holidays. Allison was like, I'm not really sure I want to talk about the holidays. So the rest of us will be talking about the holidays for now, including a new event that they have announced for the holidays this year.
So the thing that I'm really happy about is that we have moved away from peppermint being the only flavor of the winter holiday season. We got some sugar cookies. We got some straight up brownies. There's a lot of different flavors, and I feel like I'm a big merch and a big food guy. I mean, haha. And when it's the holidays, I'm like, I don't want another peppermint flavored anything. So I'm glad to see that. The merch looks great. And I am so sad that I'm not starting my annual passes until January of 2024 because, oh man, Jolly Hollywood, Jolliday, Jolly, I still can't get it right. The Jolly Holiday with Muppets. There you go. We're using the Muppets. We're using them in a great way, and it's just a really exciting time. I feel like it's so weird to be talking about this right now. It's literally like the 4th day of summer.
Stephanie, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm excited. I've got my reservations, so come next week, I'm going to try to get my tickets for all of these after-hours events. And yes, I think that the new offerings are wonderful. And Patrick, I agree with you but don't knock the chocolate peppermint. I love chocolate peppermint, anything. And one of the best ones that they had, though, as far as a different flavoring, was at the Jingle Bell Jingle Bam, which I'm pleased to see is coming back. And that was at Hollywood Studios, obviously. And they did a chocolate gingerbread bread pudding at the dessert party. And that was like phenomenal. So I hope that they bring that offering back. I don't think they're going to do the dessert party, but they're going to have that Tower of Terror party, which looks amazing. And I might be the only person to own a DVD copy of the Kirsten Dunst movie version. So I'm very happy that we get to experience that party scene in that movie. I think that looks amazing. I'm hoping, that I get tickets to that too.
Well, speaking of dessert, Allison apparently popped away for a popsicle. So, Allison, as far as all these holiday offerings, anything specific that you're looking forward to, Disneyland or Disney World or on the cruise line that look really good? We're holding off to talk about Jollywood to the end, but whatever the other things are that we have here.
If we're talking about desserts, and how cute are those little gingerbread macaroons with the little gingerbread man painted on? They look so good. And I second that, Patrick. I'm not interested in peppermint, even if it's got chocolate in it. Don't sully my chocolate mint or peppermint. Or really anything.
Come
it should be pure. But also I'm so excited for both the being at Brown Derby and having drinks there, and then moving over to I'm sorry, we're saving this to the end. I missed that, but that and going over to Hollywood Terror Hotel and having that party, which is we don't get to have the cocktail lounge there that was supposed to be there at some point, but we can have it for the party. So really excited about that.
Sorry about that. Okay, so all of the things that they've announced, the one thing that I was a little disappointed in was the fact that we've got this new Frozen projection show coming and we don't get the lights back on the castle. to me, the lights on the castle were one of the coolest things that they had, and it was before Frozen. They had these, and then as part of Frozen, they made it some sort of a show where they lit up the castle with Elsa's magical powers, which was
a war crime by Elsa on a neighboring kingdom. But then they did go back and fix it. That Cinderella gave her permission to do it.
War crime. Yep.
She's like, this is my attack on a neighboring kingdom. She just went and started throwing ice all over the place. You can't do that. That's not allowed, like, Elsa.
This is my castle now.
Sovereign kingdom. Yeah.
I don't understand why they can't do both the projections and like alternate with the icicles. The icicles are like classic. Like everyone now who's visited in the last 7 years or so have pictures at holiday time in front of the castle with the icicles. They're beautiful. Everyone loves them. And if it's projections anyway, look, why can't we have both? Why are they taking this from us?
Yeah,
I think we've gone so far over with projections. I love them. It's great, and I love it when it goes down Main Street. But it takes away from the spectacle of the fireworks, and it also limits where you can set up to really enjoy the fireworks. I mean, the view at Top of the World used to just be as good as anything else. Now it's a little more difficult because there's so much being projected on the castle, and while you're not far, you're also not close. And I think there's something about those. I mean, everybody's house has them. Like Disney, you should be able to just wrap those around in one overnight and have it done. I'd like to see more of the physical lighting effects than just the projections.
Okay.
I agree with you, Patrick. I saw that in 2018, and then, of course, in 2020, it was just projections, and they're beautiful, and it was something new, and everyone liked it, and there were different opportunities to take your picture in front of the castle with the different pictures projected on there. You know, one was a wrapping paper, one was like all blue and white, and so it was kind of neat, but I agree with you. I think it's overdone, and there is something to the lights coming on is just a wonderful experience. The kids love Elsa. You know, that's something that I wish that they would take into consideration. It's not just about the time and the effort and the money to do that.
So let's move on to the main attraction here, which I believe is the Jollywood event. So we heard rumors that they were going to be doing some kind of a hard ticketed event, and anytime that there's something that they can do that makes me spend more money, I'm here for it. It's exciting because that way I don't have to just use my annual pass. I can give them a little more money, make them a little happier. That's what I'm all about. But we had this breaking story about Jollywood Nights coming, and I know they've talked about this already because we were off for a couple of weeks, and now that we're here to talk about it, I'm very excited about this event. A lot of hard ticketed events, it's the same old thing where it's special treats, a new fireworks show, and some character meet and greets that you haven't met for a long time. And now here we have something. There's so many different pieces to this that I'm excited about in general. So one of them is that we have this Muppets thing that's going to be happening where Miss Piggy and Kermit are going to be hosting a show, which I'm all about that. There are no better hosts in the world than the two of them. And then the Tower of Terror is going to have a Nightmare Before Christmas sing-along, and of course the little party at the base. And then we've got there's more of that situation there. But don't worry, if you want to see Fantasmic, they're going to still have it for day guests. My question is, and I don't know that I saw this in the article, does that mean they're going to run Fantasmic during the day?
No.
Okay.
I was like, are they
no, because it's still dark out.
Everyone out? Yeah, like I feel like they'll have them all and then go out the back way. So if you're not ticketed for the party, they'll push them out that back walkway, which is like a lot of scrims and stuff, but fine. The thing that's like a little bit upsetting to me is that Jingle Bell Gym, Jingle Bam will not bowl on nights that there is not the party. It seems like they're reserving this thing as though they've created it special for this really cool new event, but it actually did run for regular park guests. So I feel like that's sort of being taken away just as like, so they have something else for the party. And that to me is a little upsetting.
No, I'd agree with that, is that I feel like I love that one. And I mean, I've screamed to everyone that I love that one. Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam is one of my favorites. I love those shorts. Patrick and I have talked about that before. I've paid for the dessert party. I admit it. I have. just so that
No
I could
one's
have.
shocked when you've paid for something, dude. Like, at all. It's
There's
not
no shame
a
in that,
big
Rob. Come on.
revelation. We're shocked when you don't purchase something, actually.
I mean, you're gonna give me like a lanyard that's gonna be like souvenir? Sure, I want in. I definitely want in.
Bam!
But you know, again, most of the time it's because the parks are so crowded anymore that if you want to enjoy your favorite thing, you almost have to use one of these guaranteed spots, like a dessert party for World of Color or for the fireworks or anything like that, so that you don't have to miss out or have a very bad experience trying to get crowded into Main Street to be able to see something. But yeah, I agree with you, Allison. Jingle Bell Jingle Band was great. I love that it was something that they would do on regular nights, and the fact that they're making it exclusive. At least they're bringing it back, though. Right? That's the thing, is it hasn't been around since there was this thing called COVID. I don't know if you guys had it down there, but it was one of these things where they closed a bunch of stuff down, and then some things never came back, including, unfortunately, Jingle Bell Jingle Band. I do want to acknowledge a super chat from our good friend Jungle Cruiser. Hello, going to see Rogers the Musical this Thursday afternoon. Thanks to D23 membership. Need your advice. Should I get the Mr. Toad bucket from DLR, even though I got the one from Desi? Allison, where is the Mickey bar? That's a good question, Allison.
I have an explanation.
Thank you, Jungle Cruiser, by the way. Appreciate you.
Yes, appreciate you. I have to find them still. I haven't found one in like the regular supermarkets that I shop at. If somebody wants to look at like north side of Chicago, someone wants to find where I can find a Mickey premium bar, that would be great. But of course, they don't have them at Trader Joe's, which is what's nearby me, or at Whole Foods. So if somebody can tell me which one, I will go and get them for the next time.
Target. Target.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to search in Target. I've not been in Target in a very long time, but I will look.
Priorities. You got to get that one. It's funny, Jungle Cruiser, that you would mention that about the popcorn bucket, because I had that crisis of faith a little while ago, because I was going to give my son one of my Figment popcorn buckets, and I'm like, they're exactly the same, but nope, not you, Patrick. One of them had the strap from the original bucket with Figment on it, and the other one had the strap from Epcot 40th, and I'm like, but I want them both. But I manned up and I gave away one of them. But I agree. I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, but this one's just a little different. We might want that one. So I mean, do it. It's a really good popcorn bucket. I mean, it's not bookends.
It's a really good
really
popcorn bucket.
It is. It's one of the best ones. I love that one.
Does not ever serve its purpose.
It's awesome. The wheels turn. It's fantastic. You should have it. It's got Mr. Toad. There's not a lot of Toad stuff out there, so I would say you definitely should get it. Yeah, exactly.
Can I say one more thing about the holiday offering, the Holly Jollywood? Can I say one more thing?
No, I'm sorry, Stephanie. No, you can't.
We got 4 minutes. So the fact that it is like Dapper Day meshed with Mickey's Very Merry, Christmas party, I think is really neat. I think that you dress up, you get to walk down Sunset Boulevard. I think that's going to be really fun. And yes, I'm glad that they're giving the Muppets their due. Ever since they took them out of the Magic Kingdom, I was skeptical at first, to have them in the Magic Kingdom in the first place, but their historical accounts were hilarious and they were wonderful, and I wish that they still did that. So I'm really glad that they're bringing them back for this, and hopefully they have a bigger presence in the parks.
It's a
sorry about that. It's a what? It's a really
it's a bad name.
Okay,
that's a really bad name. It sounds like Dollywood and Jolly Holiday, which is Mary Poppins, and we know that they just like to cancel things with Mary Poppins in them. It's a bad name. There has to be something better than this. Come on. You have hopefully some of the most creative minds around, and we go with Jollywood.
I was thinking the same thing. Do you remember when they had like a survey of like the potential names for Hollywood studios?
Yes.
And they all were like, each one was like worse than the last. And I thought as soon as I saw this name, I was like, I wonder what the other names were. This does not roll off the tongue. It doesn't even like evoke like feelings of the holidays.
No.
And it makes me, it's weird. It's very weird. But the event
sounds
itself
like
will be lovely.
a celebration down on OBT Jollywood.
Oh
I
no.
was going to make a similar joke because it sounds like getting your jollies off. It's a very
No, it's not great.
uncomfortable
Oh
thought.
no.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't connect with Christmas.
So one thing I'd like to do, and I'm trying to do it very gently because apparently my mic stand is causing a problem.
It is.
But can you still hear it?
No.
Okay. I'm being very still. Is we have a survey tonight because this is one of the things that I'm very interested to know because a lot of people love Halloween and Disney does Halloween so well. Oogie Boogie Bash goes on sale this week. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. And then other people are all about Christmas, and I think they've actually taken Christmas to the next level here. We all remember the Osborne Family Lights. That was a thing that everybody loved to go see. I don't know if there's a lot of stuff there that people still want to go see. So if you're in the chat now, please go ahead and give us a hashtag one, hashtag two, hashtag three or four, or pound, whatever you decide, so that we can know which one you're interested in. So a lot of people, again, like I said, get really into Halloween. They dress up in costumes. They go all out. The same thing with Christmas. People like I've seen people bring Christmas wreaths to their hotel rooms and things like that, and really kind of do it up. Or if you can't decide and you want to do them both, or if you just avoid them in general, which I see a couple people have said they avoid them in general because of, I mean, there might be a busier time, or it actually cuts into your park time, right? If you are normally at Disney Hollywood Studios until 9 or 10 o'clock, and then now they're going to make you leave so that they can do the Jollywood at 8:30, then, I mean, that's, I just wanted to say Jollywood one more time to see how Patrick reacted. So, anyway, I mean, for me, my favorite, honestly, is Halloween, and I love Halloween. Oogie Boogie Bash is one of my favorite hard ticket events. This one could rival it. I'd like to see it, but also the same thing goes with when we go to the decorations that are out, and also the overlay of the Haunted Mansion Holiday is good at both. So if I get to choose, I'm probably going to go Halloween. Patrick, you want to say something about it though?
So for people who are voting number 4, we realize that the holiday time at Walt Disney World, just talking about Walt Disney World, is late August to mid-January. That is 5 months. It's almost half the year. It's really hard to avoid Christmas and Halloween at the parks because they last forever. And also, it's food and wine during that entire time. I think food and wine starts like tomorrow, and it goes through Thanksgiving, something of that nature. It is bizarre.
Yeah, it does go through Thanksgiving, and on Thanksgiving, like the day after, is when
it flips to holidays.
Yeah, it flips to the holidays, festival of holidays. So, yeah, definitely, we'll keep this up for a little bit longer, but I want to kind of get final thoughts from everybody about the holidays because it feels weird, right? It's June. I mean, I think, Stephanie, you were talking about that. It's June, and here we are. You're wearing your Joy Holiday shirt, which is fantastic. But at the same time, like, I get that people have to plan their vacations. And so that if you're starting to think about going down at the holidays, now is when Disney is stepping up. But they've made it now a huge event, halfway to Halloween, halfway to Christmas. It makes me want to celebrate my half birthday, all these fun things that they're doing. But it seems awkward to do it in June. We haven't even had 4th of July. We haven't had anything else go on yet for Halloween, and here we are already talking about Christmas. So let me get final thoughts, starting at Allison about the holiday offerings, specifically about Jollywood. Whatever you want to talk about. What do you love about all of this?
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited. I remember my daughter saw some picture of Mickey in a pumpkin, and she keeps saying like, "I want to go for Halloween so I can see that." And then she's like, "Also, I want to see Mickey in his Christmas outfit." And so I was like, "Okay, so you want to go for both of these things?" And she's like, "Yes, I just want to live there." And that's sort of where I am. So I actually love the parks at this time, and I think that there are crowds, but like it's super crowded, like always, basically. And the cool thing is, for me, a pro tip is like if you are not attending a party that night, it's actually nice to go to that park during the day because it closes early, usually fewer crowds. So if there's a Mickey's Not So Scary or a holiday event happening in Magic Kingdom, a day you can spend the whole day there and then hop to another for the afternoon, and you probably have lower lines. So even though it's crowded, it's not the worst time to visit. And then you get to see all the decorations and enjoy the holidays there. But I'm super excited about these offerings, super excited about a brand new party that we haven't had before in what was my favorite park for a very long time in my childhood. So I'm super excited for this.
Before we go any further, though, we have another super chat, and it's again from Jungle Cruiser, and it does look a little bit more targeted toward Allison. Sorry you can't see it because of the poll, but it says, Allison, you can get Mickey bars at Jewel Osco. I don't know what that is.
Yep, that's near me. I can go there. Thank you so much, Jungle Cruiser.
They're $8.99 for 6 bars. So again, Jungle Cruiser, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
It's a really great price, and it's so much better. Listen, I love a Mickey bar. I do not ever want to eat a Mickey bar in the parks. I just don't. It is asking for disaster.
I get one like every single day when I'm there.
I gotta eat it like, I don't want to end up. I try and dress a little bit nicer in the parks now. You know, I go with a polo shirt, or at least a nice shirt. I don't want to end up covered in chocolate. It's bad enough I wind up with chocolate handprints all over me lately.
I think you just must eat the chocolate so fast. I eat the chocolate first. I think that's the trick.
You gotta.
We may have to have a separate show about this. Patrick, holiday thoughts?
I am incredibly excited for something at Hollywood Studios. When I travel, when I have my AP, I usually try to fit both Halloween and Christmas in because it's the best time at the parks. They're dressed, the parks are dressed, the characters are dressed a little bit differently. It's nice. It's a little change of pace, and there's always fun things to do. If you like to resort hop like I do, the resorts get really well decked out. Come up with a better name next time. I am ecstatic to see what we're going to do with Miss Piggy and Kermit. I don't know. Are they going to be tall? Are they going to be Muppets? I don't know. We're going to see.
Okay. And Stephanie.
Yeah, it's strange to go and celebrate Halloween in August, but I'm totally going to do that. So go full out. Let's do some costumes. Mickey's not so scary. But we're going to be there. Another pro tip, like Allison was talking about, if you are buying tickets and you don't have an AP, so you don't want to go to the park that day of your after hours ticket, you can get in at 4 p.m. So sleep in, you're going to be up late. Go to the pool, do something fun at the hotel, and then get over to the Magic Kingdom at 4 p.m. and ride the rides first so that you can enjoy the entertainment offerings after the party starts at 7 p.m. And for Allison, if you wanted to go with your daughter, which we have done before, you can go to the very last not so scary Halloween party and then stay for the very first Mickey's Very Merry, which is about a 9-day span. So
and it's usually my birthday. It's usually my birthday in that time.
Right.
It's great. It is fantastic.
You're going exactly then this trip, actually.
I am not. I am going in January.
Well, looking at the poll that we did, it looks like Christmas time is barely beating out Halloween time. So thank you guys for your votes on that. We appreciate it. And then the I avoid the holidays at 25%. So some people do, and then only 3 people can't decide. So again, I think that the best medicine is that is exactly what Stephanie said: is just go to both. Why not? Again, it's just money. It's no big deal. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate all of the information that you guys were sharing about Christmas. We were going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk to Annie about some Universal updates, including Halloween Horror Nights and Minion Land. So don't go away. We'll be right back. This is Disney Entertainment News Today. I'm Rob Whiteside, and here now are the top Disney entertainment stories.
For the latest in Disney Entertainment News, watch Disney Entertainment News Today, hosted by Rob Whiteside. From movies and series news to stage shows, books, video games, and more. New episodes drop every Tuesday on WWNT.tv.
Welcome to News Today with Universal Parks News Today. I'm Tom Corliss. Here now the news.
Give us the Universal update.
All right, so first up on the list is Minion Land, which is now soft open, and I obviously was there to cover it all. We reviewed everything at Minion Cafe, which is a phenomenal menu. I'm really still bitter about Monsters Cafe, but the food is great. We've got like a full review going. I'm obsessed with the grilled cheese and the Agnes's honeymoon soup. That's my favorite. There's a lot of good things. There's a couple things to avoid. Bake My Day is open. Today, I'm probably going to be sick, but I ate almost everything at Bake My Day today. So there's a review and video coming out, which has like a variety of Minion themed treats. There's a Minion Swiss roll. There's Minion cupcakes. There's s'mores. There's all sorts of different treats. Then there's Freeze Ray Pops, which is also open. They've got all these different like popsicles, and some of them are themed. Also, Illumination Avenue includes the Illumination Theater, which has the Minions meet and greet, and it has the new Sing characters meet and greet. So there's 3 new characters you can meet. Also, I heard that yesterday Vector appeared at the meet and greet. So I tried to go over today and meet him, but he wasn't there today. So hopefully this week I'll get to see Vector, because he hasn't been out since last year. And with VillainCon, getting ready to open, seems like a good place to have him. In addition to that, speaking of VillainCon, it's not open yet. I think that's the only thing here in Minion Land that's not open at this point, or at least like soft opening. Like Pop Banana, the banana popcorn is open, Minion Cafe, Freeze Ray Pops, and Bake My Day. And then Evil Stuff, which is the gift shop at the exit of VillainCon, is open, but the attraction is still not open. No updates, no rumored, no things, but it's got to be soon. So that's like the last piece that needs to open there. And I think that's about all I got on Minion Land.
How long did they start working on Minion Land? Because it feels like it's been way shorter than Epcot, and it's going to open.
It's funny because I think Monsters Cafe closed. I think it was May 13th. It was a Friday the 13th last year, and I believe it was May 13th. And so it's been, just about a year for them to like completely redo that whole area, which was obviously they left like the kitchen and things like that, but they rethemed it, redid the whole menu. They added like the bake shop, and the meet and greet used to be Donkey. That used to be Donkey. Oh gosh, don't
Such a good meet and greet.
I was about to say Minion Cafe took over my Monsters Cafe, which broke my heart. I love that. I used to call it my office because I always went in there and just spent the afternoons working in there. But most of the props, or at least a lot of the props that were in Monsters Cafe, have now found like a new home temporarily over at Islands of Adventure in the All Hallows Eve boutique. And so that's the Halloween themed store that's in the Lost Continent, and it gets rethemed every season, So for summer this year is the Monster Graham Picture Studio. So it's like the monsters are running a movie studio, and they are filming Revenge of the Red Planet. But when you go inside, if you've been to Monsters Cafe, there are the chairs that were in there, photos that were in there, just all sorts of props that used to be in Monsters Cafe, that when they took it apart, they preserved things, obviously. And so it's so nice to see them again, like being used. But the theme is really awesome. It's like monsters filming a movie, so there's like really good photo ops in there. There's like the creature is filming, and then you've got Dracula like with a boom mic, and it's just so I love it. And again, it's got Monsters Cafe, and then it's just spooky monster themed, movie themed, and it all works together, which I almost feel like it could be like a hint towards Halloween Horror Nights.
What do you mean a hint?
They always like to tease things, and sometimes I feel like we don't see it until afterwards, and then we go, okay, that made sense. I see it now. And I wonder, there's rumors about a monster-themed house. So we've got monsters. But it seemed like a lot of, like the merchandise that's been kind of creeping into there has been kind of like movie-themed and 3D, just kind of just that along that vibe. And so I'm wondering if there's something, and like the whole thing with the filming for the Revenge of the Red Planet. I'm wondering if there's some sort of invasion kind of thing that we might see, but who knows? It's all still a lot of speculation because we only have a few announcements.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of speculation, Horror Nights, you know what? I was new to Horror Nights, and I think I've said this a bunch of times. I was new to Horror Nights back in 2019, and then now with the speculation map, I'm always like looking at it going, I'm very excited about this, but I'm very nervous to get too excited about something. So like the speculation map that we saw before had Dragon Slayer on it. Demon Slayer, the anime Demon Slayer. Is that still happening?
I personally don't think so. That's one I just... I think that would have been popular.
But Dueling Dragons.
Oh yeah.
Talk about that one.
I don't know too much, but we have heard things about that there could be a house that's kind of tied into Dueling Dragons, which used to be the two coasters that were where Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure took over. So I only rode those rides once. That was enough for me. But it would be a very cool themed house if that happened. So cross your fingers. It's not me.
Sorry, the one other thing that my daughter is really jazzed about is Stranger Things returning to Halloween Horror Nights. Is that one actually happening?
If I was a gambling person, I would probably put a bet on that. Yeah, I really do feel like that's got to be like the next announcement we're getting. I just feel like that. I was actually surprised that wasn't what was announced when they announced The Last of Us. I really was full like, oh, it's going to be Stranger Things, and so I was really surprised. So I do believe that if I had to bet, I would believe that's going to be our next announcement.
And then The Last of Us is actually going to be based on the video game, not on the HBO series. Are you excited about that, or would you rather it be the series?
I am very excited to see them, lean towards something like video games as like the media that they're pulling from. I'm excited because a lot of times we talk about movies that we would think would be good houses or shows and things like that, and we often forget about other things like horror comics or horror video games and things like that. And with so many people getting into the show that, there's already people that at least know the name. So, but to pull from the video games instead, I feel like that's a kind of a good move. I'm very excited for that.
And I think we've talked about this before. For you personally, do you prefer something that's based on an IP, or are you looking for something that feels like an original house, or do you like the mix that they do of both?
I like the mix that they do of both because obviously there's always going to be some draw that pulls people in versus just like complete all, originals. But I'm personally more a fan of originals. I feel like they get really creative. The sets are really creative. The costumes are more creative. They don't have like such a rigid thing that they've got to kind of, work around. So I'm always excited to see the originals. Those always, are top for me.
So let's move on to the Jurassic Tribute Store because we didn't get a chance to talk about this before. I think it opened up on June 1st. And you basically live there now? Is that how that works? Because I know you're a huge Jurassic Park fan.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They can't get rid of me. I live in there. It's so well done. As a Jurassic fan, you have an idea and hopes and what you would like a tribute store to look like. And so when they really hit the mark or go above and beyond what your expectations are, it really is exciting as a fan. I loved the Jurassic World one they did a couple years ago, and I just never thought they could top that. And this is just a combination of things for the fan, which it shows behind the scenes things. It shows the photo ops are great, the little Easter eggs and details that a fan will really appreciate, and the final room that's all like the nostalgic toys. Whether it's, adults going, I had this, or I still have this, or kids that have no idea what they're looking at. Like, I just love watching the guests. Like, I go in there and I love it, but then eventually I start watching everyone else and their reactions, and I just love that. So I got to say, they did an amazing job. I cried twice, I think, when I went in there the first
I was gonna
time.
say you were disappointed by the Mardi Gras one, right? So this is
I mean, I don't like the new space, honestly. I think that they, for their first time, it was probably challenges, moving somewhere new. So I think that maybe this is like, okay, they've figured out how to play with the space and use it to the best. And so I was really impressed.
gotcha.
Because I did worry that it wasn't going to be up to, my, what I wanted. So
Mr.
I
Baby, I get
can't
it.
lie. I can't lie. I was worried I was going to walk in there and not like it. And I just, like I said, I cried twice. It was great.
Well, then I guess that is a good review of it. If you cried twice,
Yeah,
I mean, if you cried 3 times, I guess I'd have to get on a plane and go there right now. But let me
you
ask you.
should.
I'm very excited about that. Let me ask you one more thing before we let you go. Is there's app dining reservations right now, and I know that you reported on that for us. Tell me what is that experience like, and how is it better than what we've had in the past, which is pretty much nothing, right?
Well, the thing is that you could make reservations, but it was through like the website. So you had to go to like universalorlando.com and then click through like dining reservations and go through like this process of making the reservations. And I feel like people just didn't do that, or you had to call. And so it was just not easy or convenient. And I think a lot of people would just kind of show up to restaurants and city walk, and on weekends they'd be full. And so this is something where, guests are using the Universal Orlando app already. And so now to just be able to book a reservation directly through the app, it's like life changing. I'm telling you, I know it's such a little thing. And that's why, I know we talked about a lot of major things, and I'm like, let's just throw in that dining app, because I really want to talk about that, because that is just like such an exciting change that makes it so much more convenient for someone in the park just to be like, oh, let me see if I can book a reservation here, before I leave the park. It's one step, one click versus like this long drawn out process. So I appreciate Universal trying to make their guests' lives easier.
They have no bigger proponent than you, and especially when it comes to the Jurassic Park stuff and their technology and all that stuff that they have. But obviously, we're on the precipice of something huge with Epic Universe coming down the road, Minion Land opening up, at least most of it, and waiting on the VillainCon attraction, obviously, and just and Halloween Horror Nights, which is that's their Christmas, that's their big deal. So a lot of stuff coming up. I appreciate, Annie, you being there, boots on the ground, to make sure that we don't miss anything. Thanks for Patrick for co-hosting. I appreciate that. And we're going to take another commercial break. We'll be right back with some Disney Parks news. Annie, thank you as always. We appreciate it. Don't go away.
Now on WWNT TV, it's Boxed In. Boxed In is a casually chaotic show featuring WWNT personalities Eric Morton and Jill Diffendahl, unboxing Disney merchandise and viewer packages, along with a few friends and a bossy little Pomeranian. So smash that like button, subscribe and comment, and keep up with the new Disney merchandise releases, seasonal releases, festival merchandise, limited edition merchandise, wishables, pins, and more. Join us Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern on WWNT TV.
Welcome to Deep in the Plus. Each week, join host Rob Whiteside as he and a panel of Disney superfans take a different movie or TV show from the Disney Plus catalog. They'll tell you its history, details, and give their review, so you'll know if it's worth your time. Current shows, classic movies, and everything in between. Watch Deep in the Plus live Wednesday nights at 9 Eastern for new episodes, or catch Deep in the Plus anytime on YouTube on WDWNT TV.
Thank you guys so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate it. Wednesday night, we're going to be doing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade on Deep in the Plus. Hopefully you'll join us for that. And very excited to talk about that with my good friend Patrick Hackett and a couple others. And we're going to be talking about some Disney Parks news again. I think we're good, right? We got sound. Everybody sounds okay. No banging, no clanging, no nothing like that. We'll just make this a show from here to the end. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Fantastic. When I'm having to adjust things and also run a show and host it, it does get a little clunky. So I appreciate everybody's patience. Can't wait to see the comments. So I wanted to start by talking about Indy, because we just said we were going to be talking about Indiana Jones on Deep in the Plus, and Indy is coming to the parks. They have the Den of Destiny, which is located at Disney Hollywood Studios. Perhaps you've heard of it, and they have. Patrick, I'm gonna throw this one to you because they have adult beverages. And
yeah, buddy.
I think from time to time you have been known to enjoy an adult beverage. Is that correct?
No, I don't enjoy. Yeah, I enjoy an adult beverage. I don't know about these though. They seem so basic. It seems like they just put names on basic drinks. The only one I'm kind of looking at is a L'Atlantique green tea, which seems a little creative. Pomegranate green tea, get a little blood orange, lemon juice, and agave nectar. And now I'm looking that there's no booze in that. Oh, it's a non-alcoholic drink. What kind of monster are they doing?
How dare they?
Everything else, it's like a regular margarita with some passion fruit and basically kind of an old-fashioned, maybe an elevated old-fashioned, if you will. But the idea is great. The idea is really wonderful. I wish, as per usual, we were doing more of what Disneyland was doing, because Disneyland seems to really, really get it right. This is what should be happening every time there's a major release that has something in the parks, though. There's no reason that we don't have these dead spaces that we can't use for things like this.
Yeah. No, I agree, but that wasn't necessarily a completely dead space, because it had Chip and Dale over there in their Rescue Rangers outfits, and that to me was awesome. So, but I get what you're saying. I mean, that was just kind of the gift shop for you leaving the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, Epic Stunt Spectacular. And now you've got all of these drinks and things happening over there. I used to like to go over there and visit the Indiana Jones Stitch that was in that place. But, again, it's nice that I agree with you. It's nice they're doing something. And this is outside of a Marvel or a Star Wars release. Marvel, it's been through the roof of what they did for Guardians of the Galaxy, what they do for Ant-Man. And now they've got this all of this Indiana Jones stuff, including the opportunity to meet Dr. Jones in the park. I don't like why did it take that long to do this? Because basically, I think, Patrick, if you threw on a whip and a fedora, I would get an autograph from you. I mean, I feel like it's not that tough to do, and yet it took them this long. So,
Well, I'm glad they're throwing Indy a freaking bone, right? Archaeology humor. But yes, I think, thank you. I think it's great that they have, I love the Indiana Jones ride. Don't get me wrong. I think it's one of the best rides at Disneyland, honestly. And so I'm glad they're finally getting a meet and greet. I didn't know why they never had him before, Rob. I agree with you. It's kind of like, it's less than Jack Sparrow. It's less involved than his outfit. But anyway, I'm glad that they're doing that. I'm excited that they have the offerings over at Hollywood Studios. I'm glad that they're bringing back some, a la Universal and Monsters Cafe, what Annie was just talking about. They're bringing some of the props from the defunct and retired Great Movie Ride. So I'm really glad that they're bringing that out. I hope it stays, honestly. I hope that they bring back the gift shop eventually. And also, thank you. That was where you signed in for Jedi Training Academy. Please bring that back.
They would never take me when I tried to sign in, so I didn't know that's where that continued going on. Yeah, Allison, do we have audio back from you?
I wanted to test it. Can you hear me?
No.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, we can. So.
Yes, okay. You scared me. Okay, well, I'd rather have the great movie right back. This is just like a tease. Like, very angry about it. But I am excited about the meet and greet with Indy. And you're right, Rob, that is the easiest costume to make. I had a friend with 3 boys, and they were Indiana Jones for like every Halloween, and then they handed down the costume because it was just so easy to do. So yeah, why haven't they done this before? And they also have it for the stunt show. So really easy to put it in somebody and throw them in the parks. I think that'd be super, super fun.
Well, I, for one, am excited to see that movie. It opens on June 30th, but at the same time, if you wanted to swing by Wednesday night at 9 p.m., we're going to have top-notch audio. We're going to have Patrick Hackett's going to be there. We're going to have Ron Deanna is going to be with us, not Indiana, but Ron Deanna. It's going to be pretty fresh. So please join us for that review, getting you ready for the release of Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
And we actually
watching the last Indiana Jones movie before this one.
So here's the funny thing is we asked the chat, we were like, what do you want to do? The original? You want to do Crystal Skull because it's the one before this? And everybody was like, no Crystal Skull. Let's talk about the Sean Connery one.
Why would you talk all that time about Dan Aykroyd's vodka? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
You gonna be okay, buddy?
No, I hate that movie. Makes me angry because it wasn't as bad as everyone said it was, but the parts that were bad were terrible. I'm good. Let's go. ParksCenter.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure you're all right because that's really my main concern here at this point.
I'm good.
Baymax is coming to California Adventure. We know this. And it's been very slow that they've been making this transformation to San Francisco. It looks just like everything I remember when I visited San Francisco. They've got the bridge going on, and they've got a lot of little pieces that are happening here. I think we've talked about this a lot. This feels like Tron, one of those where it's like almost every other week we're going, San Francisco? Yeah, nope. Okay, good. But Stephanie, I want to get your take on San Francisco. You may have said you don't want to talk about it, but I'd love to hear you. I'd love to hear you say a couple nice things about Baymax's hometown.
I love Baymax. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't know that this is this necessary. I'm a purist, and I liked the park the way it was at the beginning. I know it's a hot take. Everyone's gonna tell me I'm wrong. I get that, but I liked the old, turn of the century, whatever, boardwalk feel, and the different. It's a California park, so they're talking about actual physical places in California, and this is not that because it's San Francisco. So I don't know. I'm gonna make some people in chat mad. I'm sorry, guys, but is it necessary? Maybe. They've kind of ruined it with all the Incredibles stuff and Pixar Pier and what have you. So. Sure, let's do it.
Well, I mean, if you've got a sticker land next to it with Pixar Pier, why not put more stickers and we'll just move them around to the front? Allison has some thoughts though.
This is a lot closer to the theming than the Pixar Pier and everything. And this may be a hot take, but I didn't like that area originally. I felt like it was sort of like the Dinoland USA of DCA, but without any heart or real kitsch. It was just kind of devoid of real charm, and this has that.
That's weird.
I think that's Patrick.
It's just weird. It's just that bathroom is so odd. I'm all for this transformation. I think it's great. That bathroom, I barely able to contain myself right now because it looks so ridiculous. I think their big fear was that bread bowls weren't going to be around, but we're still going to have some bread bowls. I think that'll be good. The Golden Gate Bridge looks as absolutely magnificent as I always expect it to. I'm excited for this. I don't know when the next time that I'm going to be in Disneyland is. Did seeing some things about Disneyland, is excited to be there. Big Hero 6, I think this is a great addition. I still think it's weird that there's a California park in California. I just couldn't imagine what a Florida park in Florida would look like.
What if
there's the buzzer?
What if we called it Jollywood?
Oh, good. Yeah, it's a great name.
Yeah,
it's a great
I
name.
thought so.
Do you know how much people who make these things up get paid? There's
more than me.
I have an idea. What if we themed a Florida hotel, but made it and built it as a replica of a hotel that exists in California.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, my grand.
We're talking
right.
about that soon.
Yeah, let's move on though
Yes.
to the. I love talking about Genie Plus. It's my favorite thing. It's not. I don't understand why Fastpass had to go away because money, but Tokyo is apparently looking at this and going, maybe that's not such a good idea. They're bringing back the free line skipping, but it's on that Genie Plus level. They're not, if it's the big time attractions, they're still going to charge you money, Beauty and the Beast, things like that. You still have to pay to play. But for the ones that are like in that Genie Plus category, I think they're going, okay, we'll let you into that one for free, which is nice. And hopefully they turn the tide on that one. I'm not sure that's going to happen. We'll talk about that in a second. Also, I feel like this is beyond time to happen. Is it looks like they're setting up this queue outside of Guardians of the Galaxy, because right now Guardians is set up so that you either do virtual queue, you pay, or you don't go on. And I think that I'd love to see the end of that, so that, I get if you want to pay to skip the line, that system exists at Universal and all kinds of other places. I think Dolly even has that one at Dollywood, so then it must be okay. But at the same time, you should have a different option that doesn't require you to get up at 6:50 in the morning to try to get a virtual pass, or then not be able to do it at all. But I think the bread and butter of this conversation is really this. It's the introducing, because here's the thing. You want to make sure that you make everything as extremely complicated as possible. You don't want anything to be simple. And so Disney was like, wait, hold my beer, I got another idea. What if we go back in and we charge by the day and by the park? So not just by the day, but by the park. So now we have this adjusted pricing for each park. If you want multiple parks, it's $27. If you want Magic Kingdom only, it's $27, because that's the big one. Epcot $18. I kind of get some of that, because if you're paying full price and you're at Epcot and there's really only 3 things you want to ride and everything else shouldn't have a lightning lane at all, like Figment and the film festival and Nemo and stuff
Living
like
with
that.
the Land that they messed up as soon as FastPass Plus started.
Right, exactly. So I feel like I don't love this, but I want to throw this to Allison first and see what are your thoughts on this staggered program. Is this a good idea? Am I just misunderstanding it?
I'm furious about this. I think like some of this, like Disney is bearing the lead, of course. I don't think this is about like people being upset that they're paying the same amount for Epcot as they do for Magic Kingdom when there's like not as much to do. I don't think it's about that at all. I think this is about Disney being able to charge far more, because as Rob said a couple of weeks ago, and I think this is genius, but the house always wins. And so that they can make now the what used to be a year ago it was like $17 was the most you were going to pay to have Genie Plus in the parks. Now that's like the baseline. And if you look at the graphic they shared, like from 24, 27, that's now the norm. They're just socializing that as the norm for the parks that are more popular. And then charging the high level of what used to be the lowest tier just 10 months ago for the parks where you don't even necessarily even need to buy this. And so I'm just furious about that, because this is not, but they're marketing it as like, oh, don't worry guys, we're doing you all a favor. like heck you are.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Patrick, when I asked if you wanted to talk about this, you put in all caps yes, so I assume you have some comments here. So please tell me.
This is not simplifying. When they made these press releases, like, well, we're going to make things easier for you. Do you know what was easier? When I was able to plan out my FastPass Pluses, I could circle my way around the park, make sure I'm like eating when I want to do that Fast Pass, and I didn't have to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Rob, that was the best point.
Thank you.
I don't want to get up any earlier than I have to on vacation. It's vacation. So if I decide that I'm going to Animal Kingdom, I pay $13. Okay, great. I'm at Animal Kingdom. I get Genie Plus $13. I'm going to park hop. Am I paying $14 to get to MK? Because that's the price of all the parks. If I go to Epcot, am I then paying $4? Where's the transferability here? This makes things unnecessarily complicated. They had a good system and decided to change it. And why are we not, especially if we're all about knowing how much capacity, where we're going to put people, why are we not going back to 6-month dining reservations? Why do we have to make these reservations the day of? If you have all this information and you're a multi-billion-dollar company and you should have the people who can do data and know what to do with that information, why are we not all planning these things out in advance like we used to? Ah!
100%.
Stephanie has a thought on that.
Yeah, so here's my plan for August. We're going to be at the Not So Scary Halloween party. We're going to be up till probably 1 a.m. While I'm at the party or just leaving, we're going to have to purchase Genie Plus at midnight. And then at 7 a.m., I'm going to have to wake up and make my selection for that day. And normally I would be able to sleep in and get like a later dining reservation in the afternoon because I was up late the night before. It really drives me absolutely nuts that they're ruining my vacation now with my sleep. And I'm like, Patrick, I like to plan ahead. Let's go ahead and get this in line.
Welcome to your relaxing Disney vacation. It was never relaxing to begin with, but now it's just a beating, and yet we still do it.
It was more relaxing when I knew what was going on. Like by 90 days out, I basically knew what my trip was going to be, what I was going to have to stand in line for. I had plans. I was able to make that. And what's really worse is for people who aren't staying on site, they're never coming back. They're one and done. And if that's the people they're looking for, that's what you're going to get.
Welp, I don't know what to say about that other than the fact that I always think when they do things like this of the 90s cell phone plans that are like the nights and weekends and friends and family and after 8, but not on a Tuesday. And if you're standing on one
first
foot,
incoming minute free. That was my mom's. I gotta go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so we don't have Kamila tonight to tell us this, but whenever people are buying packages, they know ahead of time what type of ticket they're buying, if it's a single park day or if it's a multi-park park hopper. So why are we not allowed to go ahead and then purchase Genie Plus with our park hopper pass for the park hopper Genie Plus?
I don't know.
Because they want to charge you more. That's what that is. It's everywhere. Dynamic pricing is everywhere. It's, Red Sox Yankees are going to cost a lot more than seeing the Red Sox play the Minnesota Twins. It's what it is. That's where the entertainment model is. But I agree with you. It should be there. Like, give me an add-on to the AP. Say, hey, it's another $500 to have your Genie Plus. I'm like, cool, whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's because you roll deep, though.
Yeah.
They always had seasonal pricing. We've always had dynamic pricing. We've always had seasonal pricing on the hotels. Like, they can figure this out, what days are going to be more popular and what days they should be. And they've made the ticket so that you have to have it on particular days. And so they know they can still do this without making people wake up at 6:50 in the morning or stay up until midnight in some kind of torture routine. And you get home and then you come back and you say, thank you, sir. Can I have another Disney? It's very frustrating.
Yeah, we do. And we just say, thanks, let's do it again. And, I didn't want to pay for Fastpass. And then when they came out with MaxPass at Disneyland, I did it. And I was like, okay, this isn't so bad because they gave you something you weren't doing before, which was the ability to get a Fastpass on your phone, which Disneyland had not had that opportunity until MaxPass. So they were giving you something extra. You were having to pay for it, but they also included some other things, photos and whatnot. But with Genie Plus, it's so already very difficult because you've got Genie Plus, but it doesn't include all Lightning Lanes, but we call everything Lightning Lane. It really should be get rid of the Genie Plus name. We're paying for a Lightning Lane package, and then anything else is Lightning Lane Plus. Like, that's what Rise is. That's what these others are, so that I understand the difference.
That seems incredibly intelligent, Rob.
It happens once in a while, but I'm just saying, like, it's one of those where it's just, that's the confusing part, to explain to somebody it's the same. So Lightning Lane, at Figment, that's included in my Genie Plus, but Lightning Lane at Guardians is not.
Yeah.
But they're both called the same thing, so it's very confusing. Yeah. Let's move on to Encanto is doing some meet and greets in Florida finally. And I love the little title I came up with this. We don't talk about Merida, because Merida is going to apparently be going bye-bye, and we're going to be getting, don't roll your eyes at me, Allison. It's going to be one of those where we're going to take that little spot that I guess was maybe a Bell meet and greet at some point, and then became the Merida meet and greet. Was it
It was
Tangled
a story
at some
time
point?
with Belle.
What was
It was story
It
time
was
with
Tangled
Belle.
at some point. Yeah.
It was Tangled at some point. Yeah.
I think it was Tangled before Merida, though, but it was story time with Belle before that, right?
Before that, yeah.
Before she moved into her cottage.
Exactly.
Right.
Before she upgraded. But I mean, I love the Merida meet and greet with the little brother bears that are in there. Like, I feel like we should have found something else for Merida, but at the same time, there is also a search for Bruno that Disney would like to have a Bruno, and a part of me says, okay, this is probably for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, but wouldn't it be great if it was him hiding behind something and it was like this sort of like secret menu meet and greet? Like, I would love that. Like, you have to go into the wall to see him or something like that. I don't know. Stephanie, talk to me about all of these.
Yes. That sounds a great idea. I take issue with him being at Oogie Boogie's bash over in California because he's not a villain. Like, he's a misunderstood, beautiful family member. That's poor guy. He wants to be with his family, has a little plate on the other side of the wall so he can sit with them and eat with them. You know, I think it would, another hot take. I think it's the, Abuela, right? That's really the villain in that case, because she's, you know, putting all these expectations on the family. So poor Bruno, he needs to have some representation there. I think it'd be fun to see him. I love your idea of going behind something and kind of going in a secret passage there. I think that's fantastic.
Man, I'm full of great ideas tonight. It's just it's an idea machine. It's too bad that people can't hear them sometimes. Allison, I mean, is this something, I know you have a young daughter, and Patrick, you as well, but is something you want to go to?
Finally, trying to explain to my kid why she can't meet Merida has been sorry, what's her name? Mirabelle. Why she can't meet Mirabelle is like really confusing. I'm like, well, you can sort of see her in this parade, but like it's been very, very difficult to explain to her why she can't meet Mirabelle. Also, why she can't meet Maui. That's another big one. But I actually think the Bruno thing is just so Mirabelle has somebody to be with on the meet and greet. I think they should probably do Isabella and Luisa as well, but I think like this sort of makes sense and balances it out, and I think they might just stick him in the meet and greet. But finally, like, it's really, these are the most popular movies for kids right now, and like, why can't they meet them in the parks? And please guest relations, explain to my daughter why she can't meet all of her favorite people.
Patrick, same problem?
Oh no, completely different problem. Why is Maribel taking Merida's meet and greet?
Oh.
Why can't she find her own place? I like meeting Merida. Merida's my friend. Where's Merida going? Now, this is a problem.
CRT.
You have space. There's dead space in this park. You have Princess Fairy Tale Hall. You haven't rotated the princesses in like 6 years. It's been the same 4 all the time. Just them. They're always there. Mix it up. Why are you putting things where other things it's a giant park. You have so much dead space. And I like the idea of Bruno behind a wall, even though historically theme park people and walls, it's just been difficult. I mean, they can't get the diagon alley. They can't. They try and run into the wall in the train station. Let's not make people go through walls. They're not smart.
Well, we make them go through mirrors and bells. Like, why can't they go through walls?
Yes.
Come on, Patrick.
It's a lot more clear. It's a lot more clear that you're supposed to go through that mirror versus maybe you want to go behind that wall. If a cast member tells me that, I'm not going to go behind the wall. I feel like there's some shady Florida man business going on behind that wall, and there's like a meth gator. I don't want that.
Well, but I mean, when it comes to like the stuff you're talking about Diagon Alley, like when that is actually genius, but at the same time, I wonder how many people walk by it and don't even know that there is like an e-ticket attraction at Universal behind that wall because you just can't tell.
Or like a whole other theme park, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, so I'm sometimes shocked. I think the first time I brought my family, we walked up to it and they were like, "So where is it?" Like, and I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna love this," and you walk through, and it is a great reveal, but you gotta know it's there, there should be somebody that's pointing and going, it's over there. Yeah, but I'm sure people don't seem to have too much of a problem finding it. But Patrick, there are solutions, but there are not opportunities.
No,
I thought I would throw that out. I came up with
good.
that on my own too.
No, you didn't. You took it from a brilliant man.
Wow. So kids, once upon a time, there was a Yeti in the mountain at Expedition Everest, and he used to smack his paw around at you as you were going through the tunnel. And now he doesn't do that, and we jokingly refer to him as Disco Yeti. It's been stuck in B mode for pretty much, I'm sure, Stephanie, most of your kids' lives. Like, do you have any kids who are old enough to have seen A mode? No.
No, only me.
Okay.
I saw it in 2017.
Yeah, and how do you feel about Joe's thoughts?
On the year anniversary, actually, 2017. I got there for the day, and we rode it. And it was great. Of course, back then you couldn't do but one fast pass, so, that's what we did. And we came off of there thinking, wow, that was amazing. The spit was flying, the arm was swinging, but it was so quick. You wanted to have more of a time with it and see it better. But yeah, what Joe is saying is he's throwing the Disney company under the bus and being like, look, guys, I tried. I brought it to, he probably brought it up multiple times and they shot him down every time. So yes, I don't mind if they were to do an extended refurbishment. I would be fine with that. It's one of my kids' favorite rides. I get that, and they need that at that park. But especially if they bring in the additional stuff they're talking about building, then they could bring that down for an extended period of time and fix it. And boy, would the fan base love that.
And they can get the hair bands off the mountain.
Oh, who would want to do that?
Right. Well, they do clean those up periodically. I've seen it without there being any on there, but they come right back. I mean, the day of, they'll sweep it off and they'll come right back.
And then you can buy them in Wind Traders.
Right.
No. Allison, thoughts?
I mean, I would love to see this in A mode again. I think the only time I saw it was like when it opened. Like I saw this in like cast member previews in like 06 or whatever this opened. But yeah, this isn't going to happen. And you see it in Joe Rohde's tweet because he said like the first thing is like, it's a confluence of a bunch of different factors. And the first one he puts is financing, right? Between finance and then these other things, like this is all because money. And he's just shining a spotlight on Disney, and that's what they deserve for this. So.
Yeah, Patrick?
Hey, sorry, Rob. A correction. I think I said 2017. I meant 2007.
Oh, I was going to say, because people in the chat were saying that they thought it may have only been around for
what happened? Did I miss something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it 07, 09, and I think I saw it move. I'm not even really sure. I think this thing is, do you even know anymore if you saw it in A mode? Are you positive? Or is it just like a collective Mandela effect? Because who knows how long.
No, it definitely was working. It was working because it was the actual anniversary, the day.
Now, this is all the reasons he gives, and I'm glad. If anybody deserves to throw the Walt Disney Company under the bus, it's Joe Rohde. And he can say whatever he wants because he is brilliant and built that park, and we owe him so much. Just fix the Yeti. You have so many opportunities to do it. Just fix it. Build another attraction and push people that way and fix the Yeti.
They did that. It's called Pandora, and they didn't take that opportunity to do it.
They need more than that. You know that. It needs to be a little bit more than that because Pandora is still unreasonable wait times.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right. So, the common solution, they should just throw one of these up and then just, tell everybody, hey, you know what? Where was it that 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago? Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Avengers Campus, which is definitely one of my favorite things to talk about. So, Patrick, you got to visit Avengers Campus when you went out there to California. There is a place where they're adding a little gift shop onto the Avengers building, the building where the show is. They do a big show, if you've never been to Avengers Campus, on the headquarters there, and there was supposed to be an e-ticket attraction that never happened behind there. And so this was supposed to be the entryway to the e-ticket attraction, and then there was supposed to be an exit to a gift shop. And instead what they've done is they've taken up one of these huge studios over over in Hollywood for the Avengers gift shop, and it looks like maybe they have plans for that because now they're opening up a larger gift shop here because they need more space than that. But the other thing that is very cool to me about Avengers Campus is that after they debut a show, the day they debut it, they go, hey, here's the character from the thing that you just saw. So we've got Nick Fury walking around Avengers Campus now doing an espionage show, which of course is what you would expect him to do, is like basically it looks like a TED Talk on espionage. So I feel like you need to keep better secrets, but maybe since it's an Avengers Campus, we're being trained on how to do that. So, I mean, you take this class, Patrick.
You know,
my gosh, what's
there's
that
so
sigh, dude?
there's so many people who are absolutely gorgeous in California, and so many people who look like other famous people. Can we try a little harder? Can we just try a little harder? Like, there has to be a Samuel L. Jackson impersonator somewhere on Hollywood Boulevard kicking himself that he didn't get this role. Also, I get that the Snow Hat is very into Secret Invasion, but the poor person's in California, which is warm for the most part. No, that looks like Keegan-Michael Key playing Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury.
Well, and I don't know if you've been on here before when I've talked about Star-Lord. Star-Lord is the worst.
No.
They cannot get him, and I've jokingly referred to him as Star-Lord Steve because it's not Star-Lord. It's not Peter Quill. It's a guy who is just randomly pretending, back to the whole thing we were talking about Indiana Jones, just randomly pretending to be Star-Lord, and it's like you have an option there that you could have put him in his helmet. You could have taken care of that and, run some like Chris Pratt dialogue out of it, and it would have been perfect. But instead we get Star-Lord Steve, and now it's almost like Steve Fury. I don't know, it's just you're right. I mean, it doesn't quite look like him, but
he's way taller too. He's just way taller, and I'm like, this younger. Is not picking up the vibe of Secret Invasion. It's like he's a beaten down man in Secret Invasion. If this is the character we're supposed to be getting, this should be someone who's a little slumped over, a little older looking. And like, I don't know, man. For as many great things that Avenger Campus does, it feels like the rush to make sure they have a character when a show drops it shouldn't happen. You're the Walt Disney Corporation. You should have a stable of Marvel lookalikes that you're ready to trot out. And guess what? When they're not that face character, put them in a mask. They can be Ant-Man, the Wasp. They can be Spider-Man. There's plenty of masked people.
Stephanie, you have a maybe on this? How are you feeling?
Oh, time's up.
You're gonna live by the clock? That's fine. You don't have to let you talk about that. Patrick has said plenty about that one. I'll start with you on this one, Stephanie. The Grand Floridian lobby what are they doing? Like, how are you feel about it? They're tearing up your joint. Aren't you DVC for Grandpa?
Yes, DVC, MP, CM, all the things, and it makes me just sad. I'm not holding my breath about it being, something that I'm going to absolutely love because I've seen what they've done with the rooms. Mind you, they needed updating. Don't get me wrong. I just wish that instead of them putting more of, I've said this before, the newer styles, that they held truer to the turn of the century, 1900s. And it's supposed to be a Victorian era, not French, 1700s belle. So I'm really worried about that. I wish that they would bring back the orchestra. Like, if you're going to refurbish the lobby, let's go ahead and build an orchestra pit somewhere in there and bring that back. That ambiance, that just put it at a higher level. I've enjoyed going and staying at the other hotels and the other resorts for the past few years, and Wilderness Lodge is one of those. And I just feel like, if they ever touch that lobby, then you're in trouble. But the Grand, I just feel like what is it now? It's a mishmash. I don't know.
Well, Allison, I know you have thoughts on this one, but I was going to say, I'm sure they're giving some kind of a deep discount for all of this construction that's going on while you're there, right? Isn't that probably happening?
Oh, God. What an eyesore for God knows how long this is going to go on. And then, like, the thing that upsets me is, like, yes, they needed updating. There's a lot of it that that just felt kind of like like Golden Girls on the lanai for a while and like really, really dated. And the thing, and so I'm all for it, but, and it's not just that they're like, okay, we got to update it for like modern style, because for a while people were really into minimalist, like kind of post like mid-century modern stuff, and they're trying to like shove that into everywhere, but they continue to shove that into anywhere. And by the way, that's like not the aesthetic anymore. Like cottagecore is like the thing, like things like
Right.
maximalism sort of the thing now. So this is going to take a couple of years and we're already beyond the time where like kind of simplifying and making things like really simple and elegant is what's popular. And so now not only are they ruining the character of it to make it more modern, but by the time they finish, it's going to be so far outdated. And the new aesthetic actually would fit kind of really well if they like adjusted for it. And so it's infuriating, but we should go to Patrick because I think he's also DVC for Grand Flow, right?
They didn't even ask me. I own there. They should at least consult me.
Yes, they should.
Josh has my number. I email it to josh.tomorrow@disney.com 3 or 4 times a week just to make sure he has it in case he needs to reach me. I totally agree with what both of my compatriots said. It's just, I don't know, man. I really don't know what they're doing. Bay Lake Tower needs some love. I was doing some room tours because I just switched my vacation in January over to Bay Lake Tower, and man, does that place need a little bit of love, even though it's brand new.
Okay. Well, I think it's great that they're giving those discounts to the poor people who are staying there, and
they don't even give pins anymore. You used to get those sweet under construction pins. They're so cool.
But I mean, this is definitely the vibe that they're going for when you spend $400 or $500 a night on a room. I think
Yeah.
This is definitely what I had in mind. It was New York City subway construction.
You can stay in Walcott.
Exactly. Let's move on. The Tiki Room is celebrating 60 magical years. They talked about it on News Tonight the other night, and they're doing lots of cool stuff. Like they've got the Tiki mug. It's a Jose, very cool. They did an event for D23 with an exclusive pin. 60 seems like a weird let's go crazy and celebrate kind of thing, but this is one of the iconic Disney attractions, and they talked about it again like the other night on the show. I don't really know honestly what else to say about it, but I wanted to acknowledge it, so I want to move on from that one to save us a little bit of time and talk about that tomorrow is Stitch Day. Tomorrow is June 26th, 626 Day. Give a shout out to our good friend Jake, who celebrates this like it's his Christmas. And unfortunately, like I feel like last year we saw a lot more that came out about Stitch Day, about cool things that were happening. This year it doesn't look like we've seen as much. They're doing a patisserie. The patisserie is doing something. They've released a Skyliner mug at Epcot, so there was a couple things about it. But Patrick, how are you going to celebrate Stitch Day? I'm really concerned.
I'm going to hopefully get hired. That's my plan for Stitch Day. That's my main goal tomorrow. The Corksicle, I love the Corksicles. They're absolutely gorgeous. The Lilo and Stitch Corksicle is such a beautiful set. How about Stitch randomly roaming through Tomorrowland? How great was that? I thought that was incredible. I feel like that should be on 626 Day. Maybe have Stitch fill in for Sunny Eclipse if he's still not feeling well. Oh, I just love Stitch so much. I'm not as big of a fan as Jake is. Jake is far, far bigger than me, but man, I love me some Stitch. He's just the most lovable Disney character possibly ever. Take that, mouse.
Sorry, let me ask the panel about the roaming thing, though, because the roaming thing is one of those where I'm like, is that a good thing? Like, I get it in Batu because you want to give it the feel that these people live there, and maybe that's what we're going for Stitch. But if you have to chase down a character to get a picture, like, do we love that? Like, I see people, like, leaning in as he's moving, trying to get some kind of a picture. But, Stephanie, I mean, what are your thoughts on, like, the roaming characters?
So I've done both as a former entertainment CM, and it is harder. I will tell you, as a face character, it's harder because you're you're able to talk to people and have to tell them, I can't stand here and sign your autograph book, or actually the handler should be doing that for you. But yeah, as a roaming character, it's really fun because you get to go and play. You're not really set in one spot signing autographs, taking pictures the whole time. You get to go interact with the environment, with the fans, and so it's a lot of fun as the character. As the audience, it's a little bit more disappointing if you can't get a picture, but that's, again, why you have the Blueberry, the handler there, trying to tell everybody Stitch is just enjoying the time here, and let him play with you, and, go around and do things and interact with the environment. So I think it's a good thing. I will hope that they do it more. I know they have that little show that happens on the stage in Tomorrowland, and
Right.
that's fun as well. So maybe they'll do something, during the show for 626 Day.
Allison?
This fits for Stitch, right? Like, it's really nice to let Stitch be Stitch for like a period of time where he can actually like cause some trouble and do some interesting things. If he's just standing there and signing autographs, you don't get to see that really cool interaction. On the cruise line, I think like at the in like the kids club, they have like Stitch nights where they have like a party with Stitch, and he can do that kind of like interactive thing there. And I feel like this will work for that. So like, even you might not get the photo and you may not get the autograph, but you'll be able to kind of play and interact with him in a way that's like really magical and maybe more memorable than standing in line and getting the signature.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's the different kinds. There's the just let's start a random line somewhere and have a character, and then there's the backdrops like Merida used to have before she got kicked out, and then there's others like the roaming characters. So I mean, like I said, I feel like it makes more sense to me in Batu, but I mean, as long as kids get to meet their heroes, I think that's the important part. I love this though. This was some merch that came to the Tokyo store, the flagship Tokyo store in Disney. Like that is probably the Stitch what I would say I need to have that. The corksicles that Patrick was talking about.
Oh, they're so good.
Awesome. And then here's this new ornament that came out with him eating this gingerbread cookie, which all of those are just adorable. Anything with Stitch on it's adorable. So I'm glad that that they're doing more Stitch stuff for this for 626 Day. I'd like to see them do a little bit more this year. I feel like last year it was huge, and maybe that's just because I was following Jake on Instagram. I don't know, but anyway. So Jake, if you're out there, you're watching, happy 626 Day, buddy. Now is the time where we hand the floor over to our Munchling influencer, and I gotta preface this by saying before the show, I like to reach out to the folks who are on the panel and go, hey, what is it that you really want to talk about? And under this Munchling category, Allison put in eye roll. I don't really know what that means. And to which Patrick responded, come on. So, Mr. Hackett, you have the floor, sir. Talk to us about all the new Munchling offerings.
I think that what is going on with Munchlings is fantastic. I like the trading so much, because if I went and got some of the old school ones and I got a repeat of either my Lotso or my Mickey, I'd want to trade it. I want to be able to get some new ones. I like all the jewelry. It feels like it's really taking off. It can't just be me. I actually saw somebody in my hometown here in Connecticut who was rocking a Munchling backpack. And oddly enough, I come out here very bombastic. I can be a little shy in person. And I was like, Shayna, should I say hi? It's my people. It's definitely my people. She has the Cupcake Munchling backpack on. I did find the first thing of Munchling merchandise that I did not like, and it is that Eeyore backpack and the very oddly placed 2 blueberries, which are just it's not great. It's not a great image they're giving off there. And Eeyore looks
what's
even
under the blueberries? Is that fudge?
Yeah, no, it's just not. I mean, there's Eeyore's tail, so they are on the top side of Eeyore, but Eeyore looks even sadder than usual to be a muffin. It's very, very upsetting for him. And then the Magic Band. So I'm just hoping that Magic Band lasts. I really want the Magic Band, and I like the dessert bowls. I was trying to look at our pictures, and I know we got a close-up of the bottom, but I didn't see if it said if those are dishwasher safe. Yeah, that is an awesome magic band. I hope it does something like say, "You're a munchling," as you. I just need. It's so much. I need a thicker chain though. I can't really wear those chains that they have. It's far too small. I got a big neck. Like I need like the University of Miami turnover chain. If I could get munchlings on that, that's what I'm looking for. Still trying to convince my wife to let me get Chippendale falafels. That is an ongoing battle in our home because they're adorable. But more munchlings trading it. I mean, it seems to be doing better than Wishables ever did.
Well, I will say though, because you called me out, you're like, "Hey, Rob, did they ever trade Wishables?" All right, look, don't do that. But here's the thing: is that apparently our reporter went to trade a wish or a munchling, and they were like, "Oh, you got to buy it here, and we have to watch you open it, and then you can trade it." So, I mean, that was Vinylmation, right? Vinylmation did that too. You could
I like
open up a
Vinylmation too.
yeah, and then trade it there, and even possibly get the exact same one you already had, but that's fine. I love that you wish that the chain for this child's necklace
I would like a larger munchling chain, Rob.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Allison, we've run out of time for you to say anything about this.
Take me to Jacob the jeweler. I need a munchling chain.
That's fine. So we were out for a couple weeks, and so I wanted to make sure to talk about some of the stuff that I had seen come up, and one of them was is gone right there. Is the demolition of the Trails End entranceway here, because we know that Trails End is going from what it was to a new basically like counter service, which just seems sad. And then the other thing that I thought was interesting about Wilderness is that they have extended the permit for Reflections, which is something that it was a hotel, kids, if you didn't know. It was a hotel that they started to build. They cleared the land, and they started to build this over by the Fort Wilderness campground, and then they turned around and said, "Hey, COVID's a thing, we're going to stop this," and they just kicked some grass seed on top of it and called it a day. It sits on the bones, and I know this used to make Ben, our former leader here, very sad that it was on the bones of River Country, Disney's version of an old-fashioned swimming hole. But I mean,
the place that ate people's brains.
Yeah,
we're gonna
exactly.
romanticize that.
Yeah,
that's where
we're
we're
gonna
at.
make it very.
That's
romantic.
all of Florida. That's not specific.
All right, that's valid.
But Allison, I know, like, I mean, I feel like Wilderness has a special place in your heart. So I wanted to ask you about this, and then also maybe about the baby born in the RV, if you wanted to talk about that.
Sure. So yes, it does. And River Country has a really special place in my heart. I spent a lot of time at River Country when I was younger, and I loved it. And I really loved Wilderness, and I really loved Trails End. And I'm very sad about the cabins going away. I'm doing my next trip is going to be there, so I can be there one last time before they're gone. But I actually like the design for the Lakeside Lodge. And if they're going to be like ruining the theme of Wilderness anyway, Fort Wilderness anyway, then I'm like not opposed to it being sort of this cool new Lakeside Lodge. I think it'll be really beautiful. So I'm sort of happy that they've extended this. I know that's probably a hot take that not everybody agrees with, but everything else about this is really sad. Do love the story about the baby born in the camper at Fort Wilderness, and that this family, when the woman was going into labor, was like, "Okay, let's get in the RV and drive there now so we can have this baby born on Disney property." And it didn't just like happen. Like the baby came too fast. It's like, no, this was actually an intentional decision that they made. And props to those people.
I mean, Stephanie, you would definitely want to have an RV berth, right? Especially if there was a hospital a mile this way, or Wilderness Lodge was, Wilderness Campground, not even Lodge, was 100 miles that way. You're going to.
It was a nice
campground.
RV.
Yeah. Here, right. Yeah. Here's your medical minute. Here's my hot take on that, right? If we're going to use the phrase hot take, everybody take a drink. So I think while many people have home births and they're very safe, you a lot of times have the assistance of a doula, somebody who's been through the process before. It sounds like she had planned this out to where she knew she was going to have a home birth. There are still things that can go wrong, even with full-term, very healthy, large babies. They can aspirate meconium and they have to go to the NICU because they cannot breathe. So while there are things that can be very safe and very pleasurable to do, as a welcoming your family member into this world in your own home, I don't recommend that you do that on vacation, and I don't recommend that you do that on Disney property. That's been your
Nobody Google meconium. Whatever you do, don't Google that.
Google it. I can't even spell
if
it.
you don't already know what it is.
Patrick, any final thoughts before we move on?
They have to be thinking that they're getting something from having their child on Disney property. And that's just not where we're at with the Walt Disney Corporation at the moment. You get a, what are you doing? Go to a hospital, I imagine. Don't put us liable for this.
Don't influence other people to do this.
That's right, exactly. Yes, because there are people that will, get a hotel room in the Grand. Let's have a baby.
Too much construction. Sorry, that's not what we want to make happen.
Can't welcome my child into the world with that.
It's fine. What if I name him Pioneer Hal? Can we get something?
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Kind of like Pioneer Hal.
All right, let's move on to the assignment that Patrick didn't understand tonight. So there were several stories that came, and we usually throw them under the guise of it came from the parks. And so this week we have quite a few because, again, we've been off for a little bit. So one of them was guest jumps out of ride vehicle during Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind delay at Epcot. So important to know that it wasn't moving at the time. That's what that headline kind of looks like. Video guest drops unchecked item from Tron Light Cycle run at Magic Kingdom, falls near guest area. This one is guest jumps off a Grand Fiesta Tour in Epcot, gets violent with cast members banned from Walt Disney World. That's a nice, clean, quick headline. This one is Walt Disney World cast member and service dog named Pluto saved guest having medical emergency at Hollywood Studios. And then finally, woman hides at Big Thunder Mountain to avoid arrest after sneaking into Disneyland. Probably that's one of those areas you sneak in to find Bruno, but maybe it's not. I don't know. But but each of these stories, while unique, we don't have time to talk about each of them. So I asked everyone on the panel to pick which one they would like to talk about. So Patrick, since you didn't quite understand the assignment, I'll leave this for last for you. But Allison, which one do you want to talk about?
Let's start with the dog because it's the one happy, truly happy story. And I want to start with it because my dad has a service dog and we bring the dog with us when we go to Disney. And a lot of people like my dad who have disabilities that are not like readily apparent, like visible to the eye, like have the dogs for a very good reason. And here's like an amazing story of a dog that's helping to save somebody's life. And it wasn't the life of, it was a cast member's dog, not the dog of the guest. And so it's just such a happy story. And the dog was named Pluto, which just is like the icing on the cake. It's really nice to have a happy story when you have like guests being belligerent like week after week. I don't want to talk about that again. So let's just talk about how great this dog is. Yeah,
no, that's a good call. For some reason, no one likes to stay on attractions anymore because we had a story a couple weeks ago about someone jumping off of Splash Mountain during the ride. And when I saw the headline about the one for Cosmic Rewind, I thought, how do you do that? Like, how do you jump off? And then I saw the video, and it was, she was supposed to remain in her seat either until the attraction started again or until they could be evac'd. And she just decided, I'm done, and she jumped out. So, but again, a lot of these are jumps out of. So, Stephanie, which one did you pick you wanted to talk about?
Well, I also picked the dog, but I'll just say briefly, this is Medical Minute Part 2. You're going to want to know how to give basic life support, honestly, if you can take a local CPR class, because time is key and precious in those situations, because the guest had an MI. I don't think he was incapacitated, but if you were to find somebody that is falls out and they don't have a pulse and you have to give basic life support, then that's important. And know to call for an AED. Of course, that is the best and the best treatment that you can get in the park. But as far as the guests jumping out of the ride vehicles, why? I mean, honestly, you're in a giant warehouse type building in Cosmic Rewind. I kind of can understand. I mean, obviously inebriation plays a key in the Grand Fiesta Tour one, but they're in that very small, you're kind of in that tunnel at the end, so maybe she was a little bit like claustrophobic. I don't know. Maybe you can make that case for her. I don't know. But the Cosmic Rewind, I don't know. That makes no sense.
Patrick. He's ready. He's ready.
Here we go.
Why are you going to break into Disneyland to try and hide from the cops? Do you not think it's one of the most surveilled places on the face of the earth? Did you think you were going to get past, like you're some sort of Disney detective? You're going to find your way around and avoid the police? Like, this isn't a TGIF episode where they go to Disneyland. This is real life. Also, it's really alarming that you can hop a fence and be in Disneyland. Like, I get it. It's a cute little park inside a neighborhood. That's just really weird to me. I can't imagine the effort it would take to, like, try and break into the Magic Kingdom. You have to launch an amphibious assault, I think. Listen, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but if I'm hiding from the cops, I am not going to a major theme park. There's face recognition software literally everywhere. If you don't think there's plainclothes officers clocking you the second you get in that park and start acting suspicious, you are very, very wrong. Hide somewhere else. There's like hotels over there. There's an IHOP. No one's going to find you in an IHOP. If you're in Florida, hide in a Waffle House. They're not going to get you there. Most of the staff will help you hide.
So we have Allison's legal perspective, we have Stephanie's medical minute, and we have Patrick's criminal corner. Little hint to the people out there who are criminals: do not hop the fence.
Mason Betha has said, I've never been arrested for nothing domestic.
Great. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Rogers the Musical. I know that our good friend Jungle
Speak for a
Cruiser
former wrestler.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Our good friend Jungle Cruiser said they got the D23 preview. This was something that came out. It's this D23 Gold member preview for Rogers the Musical that they put on so that you could go and pay for a ticket that would get you into a preview on Thursday. So forget free soft openings. We don't do that anymore. We have paid soft openings for exclusive groups. Now, I'm going to be there. I'm D23 Gold. I was like, let me try this, and it went on sale at 1 o'clock Eastern on this maybe a week ago, or maybe it was a couple days ago, and then all of a sudden it was gone. It was just gone like that, because I thought this is pretty niche. It's D23 Gold members who happen to be in California and happen to know what the heck Rogers the Musical is, like that, gone. So that's fun. But this event happens to be open on June 30th. It's going to be open, and they've got all kinds of different things that they're doing for this. They know what they've got on their hands, Patrick. They know that this is a big deal, right? I mean, they've got this, they've got snacks, and then they've got this like VIP pay to get in thing, but yet there's only like 4 showings a day. Like, whose idea was that, man?
I don't know. I feel like, man, if you go way back in the archives, I actually don't even remember how many years ago it was. We were talking about an expansion at the Magic Kingdom, which was going to lead to a Town Square theater. And I just think of what we have missed out because that expansion did not happen. If you have the space for this Disneyland and you're making it only a limited time offering, I don't think that's a good idea. I really don't. I think that this should be something in the park all the time. Honestly, if you made me pay additionally to go see a Broadway quality show on top of a park ticket, I'd do it for something like that. For something that we all look forward to after seeing Hawkeye. I would consider planning a trip out there, but circumstances got in the way. Whoever's going to see it, go and enjoy it. I hope it's amazing. I hope Roger from Rent is also in it somehow. It'd be great. I can't think of his actual name.
I'd see that.
Right now. Yeah.
So there's like 4 shows a
Adam
day,
Pascal.
and it's
There it is, thank you.
it's a fairly short musical, and there's like 4 shows a day, and then it's only running from June 30th to August 31st. Now, what I'm hoping is that means that something else is taking its place on August 31st. Could be that Oogie Boogie Bash uses that queue for for a treat trail. So maybe that's why they're doing it. Maybe they'll bring it back. But you're right. It does seem a little bit weird to have it for a limited offering from June 30th to August 31st. It seems very short to be doing that. But they know what they have, because not only do they have the the VIP package that you can buy, but they're treats specifically for this show. I mean, when was the last time you heard about them doing something like that? I mean, it's kind of nuts to me that this is happening. It's kind of funny. I'm dying to see this, and so I hope that it is, like you said, as amazing as it was made out to be in Hawkeye. But it seems very niche, and yet at the same time, everyone seems excited about it. But also, it seems like it's going to be very short-lived. One other thing I wanted to say, or to talk about real quick, and we'll just jump off at this, is 4th of July is coming. I remember at one point somebody telling me that if you are at a Disney park on July 4th or New Year's Eve, you're an idiot, because the crowds are insane around those times. I did go on New Year's Eve. I tried to play it pretty smart and go to Epcot on New Year's Eve, and it worked out really well. But in case you are going, there are going to be fireworks at the Magic Kingdom, and there's also going to be a lot of treats that are going to be available, including the Main Street confectionery at Magic Kingdom, and then there's also red, white, and blue popcorn at the Magic Kingdom. So this is the same popcorn, I think, that you're going to get at Rogers the Musical, only it will be cheaper probably. Has anybody on here ever spent July 4th at a Disney park?
Yeah, like maybe the majority of my July 4ths I've spent at like Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
It's not that bad. It really isn't. It's a busy time of year, but like it's not that much busier than going. Certainly, I feel like Thanksgiving is worst. Like that week is like somehow worse, and it's also a hot time to go. And I think because of that, I don't know, people sort of understand and move a little bit slower, but it's a lovely time to be there. I have not been to any other park except for Magic Kingdom on the 4th of July, so I haven't seen any of the other stuff. But it's crowded, but not more than like anything else. It's lovely.
I feel like on my bucket list, I'd still like to be in Times Square sometime for the ball drop.
No, you don't.
Everybody who's New York native goes, nope, don't do that. And then the other is to be on the mall in DC for 4th of July. So maybe someday, but I know
that seems more reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. So crazy crowded. So we're gonna jump there just because we've gone over tonight. So thank you guys for being on here. Thank you for watching, and also for being patient about some technical issues that happened tonight. Speaking of which, there's going to be a really cool shirt coming up that we're going to talk about in the post show with our WIGS members.
Ooh.
We love our WIGS. The WDWNT Interglobe Society. Thank you guys so much for being members of our family. And if you don't know about the WIGS program, please visit patreon.com/WDWNT to find out more. Again, don't forget, we've got a lot of great programming coming up, because we've got Deep in the Plus on Wednesday night. We've got News Tonight on Thursday. And next week will be the 4th of July weekend, so we will not have a ParksCenter. But then we're coming back on the 9th, and we're going to go hard straight through until probably Labor Day every day. So hopefully you guys will come back and join us then. But in the meantime, I hope you have a great holiday. It's a long holiday for a lot of people, so please enjoy it, and be safe out there. And again, to the panel here, thank you guys so much for giving your time tonight. I appreciate it. And if you're a WIGS member, we will see you in the post show. So hang on tight. We'll see you then. Everyone else, have a great week. We'll see you soon. That was beautiful. That was awesome. Thank you. Hang tight and...